Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hi there, and welcome to the Cafe Gallery right here at Gallery Cabaret. Hello, hello. We have two phenomenal features this evening. We've got Roberta Miles and we have GPA, the Poetic Ensemble. Let's give them a huge scream up. But I was going to do first things first. Hi, this is why I'm playing the crazy music. I played this the last time I was here, and our last feature, Oz Hardwick, liked it so much that he wanted it playing during his feature. So if anybody likes this, you're more than welcome to have it. But in the meantime, I wanted to tell you about Scars Publications and read a few things from other people from different books, because I run the Scars Publications things, and we do magazines and little books for people, and I wanted to be able to share their work for you. First of all, we collect things from magazines, we pick short poems. I see people, hi, my voice. And we collect them and we put them into date books. This is the 2015 Need to Know date book. It has UK and US holidays in it. So I thought I'd pull things too from this 1 week ending thing. I have no idea how these will go. But this first one is called Finger on the Trigger. It's by David Michael Schmidt. It is a time to stop squeezing the trigger. Just a slight little pressure on the middle finger. Such an easy impulse to just pull. And it is not just a few people that are involved. Collectively, we are all pulling the trigger. As long as society condones the actions and says that it's okay to squeeze, then nothing will change. We all have the powder burns on our fingers. We will act appalled when someone is gunned down. The typical conversation is initiated to create the potentially correct scenario to satiate the bothered masses. We all pretend that this time things will change, but the trigger has been around too long. Men worship the trigger and adore its power. The result is a small projectile that is piercing the tissue. It almost seems magic when you think about it. It's so damn easy to do. The only obstacle in the way is our conscience. But that we've all learned how to quiet down that rambunctious child. You know, this is why I pulled that off while I didn't have a couple of my gun lovers around, although I thought that's a good piece. So, David Michael Schmidt. And to show that there are different themes, this one on the page for the end of May is Homesick by S.R. Mearns. 1,000 miles from hearts, days from familiarity, in a misplaced town built of strangers. Sweet sleep drowned me in a river's tear. Carry me westward where my blood beats, to where my lover lies. There she wraps herself in my soul and creates a house for two hearts. Aw, sorry. Sorry, that's our reacted to. I have to do the mass book things, though, to tell you. I won't read anything from this one, but this is a guy from Israel that did essays called Short Takes, and there are a bunch of nifty little short essays. It's very, very cool, and I'm just so pleased with the whole thing and getting people from around the world to be able to publish. This is the latest chapbook that became a book from a CEE himself. And this is an old postcard, and that is why I've got the postcard design on the backside for it as well. But in honor of CE, I thought I would pick, wow, the longest title. No, this is called The Elective. This is just one of the poems in here, just something short. If sociology were a woman, I would grin at her with fangs of predatory mankind, eyes red gold of octillion, Auschwitzes, and the crucifixions, and tell her, in candid voice of the innocent blood, you do be good now, Clarice. But if sociology was a man, I'd just laugh because I know he was lying. Something from CE in here. You got lots of really cool stuff. And actually, I'm really thrilled because we actually do larger books. And this guy, Mark Fleury, just collected 3 of his books into this volume called Seeing Strangers. And this is artwork from Eric Bonholzer that's on the cover as well. And I figured in honor of this, I haven't read this, so we'll see how this goes. The last one I'm going to read, I swear, from Mark Fleury from this new book. Really awesome. Sorry, I get excited with book designs. I'm sorry, I can't help it. This one is called The Hardest Part. The hardest part is the entrance of thought. Always has a certain violence because I can't see where it comes in. And there is no out, no matter how it squeezes into feminine space, so coming from inside of you. Thought, word finds no exits with breathing only into itself, bleeding in the way a siren seems full of its own aching. Give it up on my Fleury. Anybody at Stars Publications, yes, we publish things like mad, and I get to tell you, because I always show things off about magazines, next week in June is the release of the May-June issue of Down in the Dirt magazine, as well as the May-June issue of CC&D magazine, and the CC&D happens to be the 22-year anniversary issue, which makes me all excited. So, but, no matter. I guess in 2 weeks when I happen to have a feature and I see one of our open micers, the feature, Jason Noah, who will be the feature, yeah, rock on Jason. I'll probably be reading things from CC&D then beforehand. But in the meantime, I cannot see. I see you, my darling. I always like having you first. Is that cool with you, Joffre? Please, ladies and gentlemen, for the open mics. As I said, we've got 2 great... What? What? I didn't hear what you said. I heard something. Anyway, screw it. Give it up for Joffre Stewart. Come on, Joffre. I guess I don't like music. No. Sitting up that way.
I'll read 3, 2 of them mine. Well, I'll read it. The title is by We Hate to See Them Go. It's by Melvina Reynolds. I'm illiterate in music, so I'll just have to read the words. Last night I had a lovely dream. I saw a big parade with ticker tape galore, and men were marching there like I'd never seen before. Oh, the bankers and the diplomats are going in the army.
Did you sign it?
Oh, happy day, I'd give my pay to see them on parade. The paunches at attention and the striped pants at ease. They've gotten patriotic and they're going overseas. We'll have to do the best we can and bravely carry on. So we'll just keep the ladies here to manage while they're gone. Oh, we hate to see them go. The gentlemen of distinction in the army. There's more. I'll come back to it later on.
I was going to say, we probably, just because we started a little late, and I have 2 features, and you both get 20 minutes each. I want to make sure that people have the time, so it probably shouldn't be running stupid long and open mic and stuff. Like, I'm not going to read anything more, just letting you know. I don't know how long your last 2 pieces are. You'll probably be fine.
Do you have a sign-up sheet, Janet?
Yes, I do, and it's still by me. Yes.
Title,
Likewise.
9 Lives for the Joffre Stewart. People vote for millionaires who from them take. People vote for millionaires taxed less than they. People vote for millionaires who may not be taxed at all. People vote for millionaires who rob their commons, surrounded by inviolate vacant lots of speculation for self-glorification. People watch millionaires who emote for them. People watch millionaires who play for them, get concussed for them, punch drunk for them, whilst all the exercise they spectate gives them diabetes. Blacks fight for the right to vote that leaves them less wealth than whites, no matter how they vote. Blacks fight for the right to vote that incarcerates them massively. Blacks fight for the right to vote that aims at them addictive slavery, and which pay for violence in a third world given Israel to police. So blacks vote for Zionists and whitely house one who does them no good lawfully. Putting aside the question, what kind of idiot does it take to make a voter who does democracy IA gift wrap delivered in Goldman sackcloth? One wonders how the Joffre Stewart can die 6 times when an alleged Almighty gave him but one life to live. And even Jesus got only a debatable second chance. The law trumps God in some sadistic way, sometimes most sadistic way, and those sworn to pilate it break down in tears. Spared anarchists who don't get their names on voter rolls. This title, Remembering the Civil War that Blacks Lost and Are Still Losing. Facing the rising sun. In the non-Maoist meaning of an ex-colored man, I was audience left, church seated at 4100 King Drive, but facing west, in the Setting Sun program built around that $16 million dancer identified by Sherman Skolnick as Deputy Director of Mossad for this gathering dedicated, among other things, to relieving poverty and recruiting police. About the time Cleveland has lost its peace in rioting against police, who sometimes do a stint in Afghanistan at this time, when an alleged black man in a White House and from Chirac, mission creeps back into that Iraq, losing space to an Islamic State revived from history by his Christian Zionist policy, serving Israel better for excluding Christians than oppressed areas hostile to the Zionist infamy. In that non-pew space of what may once have been a synagogue, I am pacified by 2 Fannie Mae chocolates from the goodie bag extended at the door as this Office Depot pen, serving me well to draft these lines, noting that the only audible protest to this alleged conference are mutterings of Louise, 2 or 3 seats on my right. I miss a chance, usually to sit out the Pledge of Allegiance by, driven by my prostate, discovering that the relieving space of Metropolitan Community Church is clean and well appointed. Since winning the runoff, the "Fuck you, Lewis" mayor has a new stage manager, and in faded Levi's under black sweater is the most proletarian. Facing upraised slogan signs identifying interest areas in the 3rd Ward, like the signage for states of the woe at any of the 2 alternate subdivisions of the Zionist one-party system. I feel manipulated. At the sign-up desk in my seniors building, I registered my interest for conference consideration to be no park space for a presidential library, right at the top of a blank sheet. The next time I looked, there was a blank sheet. My interest had disappeared. Days before I got to the entertainment at the church, on an agenda ludicrously compromised by using compromise for comprised and WHOLE for HOLD, as though it were produced by that self-made lakefront millionaire running off against the son of the man who blew up the King David Hotel. I exited into the planned 2-block walk, being well covered by all the TV cameras that don't show up for a serious demo against police brutality. It must have looked good for the mayor, although I noticed but one bystander looking surprised at our passing his front gate, before being bused back to the step-and-fetch-it annex with a boxed lunch, 2 cookies remaining, a day before Memorial Day.
Awesome. I just looked at this time and I realized I've got like over 10 people here and I've got 2 features. So I'm going to become a strict wench and say 5 minutes or less. No lie. I have to do that because I want to make sure the features have all the space that they need. So there. I'm going to be the hard-ass one. And I'm probably like, is it Mark Smith that always says the next guy? Well, of course, Bill Nero knows that he's up next. But I'm just going to let you know the the performer on deck after him is going to be my guitar player, my Mark Willage. So please give it up. Well, that means after Bill Yarrow because he's the next one. But you can get ready with the guitar because you're awesome.
Oh, okay.
You ready, Bill? Please give it up for Bill Yarrow.
Thanks, Janet. This poem is called Poetry is Other People. Is there nothing out there but misery, tales of human fading, nomenclatures of the fallen body? Even if we forbade the saddest subjects, the tornadoes would still be there. The typhoon, the mudslide, the angry snow squall, the red volcano, the bridge collapsing, the windows crashing onto the sidewalk, the flames leaping from roof to roof, from car to car, from tree to tree. Insolent and snickering would still be there. The poems that are not destruction, what are they but decay? Did you read the one about the depression of the poet's brother? The one about the bulimia of the poet's daughter? The one about the alcoholism of the poet's mother? The one about the leukemia of the poet's father? The one about the dementia of the poet's grandma? The one about the divorce of the poet's sister? The one about the autism of the poet's nephew? The one about the drowning of the poet's uncle? The one about the diabetes of the poet's aunt? The one about the disappearance of the poet's neighbor? The one about the incarceration of the poet's friend? The one about the suicide of the poet? We live where it's light, but write where it's dark. Thrill at the thundercloud, shun the sunshine. Pine for midnight, worship the ontology of catastrophe. The poet says, somebody's done for. The poet says, you must change your life. The poet says, I must lie down where all the ladders start. The poet says, I weep like a child for the past. The poet says, my mind's not right. The poet says, if I stepped out of my body, I would break. And this one's called Ajloon Castle. I was in the city of Ajloon in Jordan a few years ago, and so this is from that experience. You, my little cat, are brisk and fluid. I, like an owl, am stiff and staid. You clambered up the rocks and held out your arms. The wind in a swoosh came up behind you. Incredulous, I watched you fall. You did not see me looking as you stood placid, impassive, looking out over the cardamom hills. But then the wind mistook your arms for wings, and helpless, I watched you fall. Horrified, I watched you fall through the future and into the past. Past your family, past your accolades, past your handsome penchant for reconciliation, into the universal solvent of your confidence. I saw you dashed upon low stones. I saw you bounce into the sea. I saw you sink into inky velvet. My tragedy is that my imagination pictures all the facets of disaster. But you see only soaring, and that is your invincible gift. Thank you.
Go get your guitar, young man.
Yes, ma'am.
So while he's getting his guitar, Mark Willage, who is probably here for singer-songwriter, and I said, Grace, let's put some music. Do a song for us. I'd love it. Just so you know, the poet on deck afterward will be Jason Noah. I'm prepping you so you are aware. In the meantime, oh, he's like, I gotta find my music first. What? Are you sitting for playing? Okay. I'll move the camera for you. And also the beauty of this open mic is that we video record everything. So you are going to be on YouTube. You will be hunted down. You will be watched by everyone. The NSA is in cahoots with me, and we're... Yeah, right, exactly.
Do the same thing.
You all set?
Oh, yeah.
Get the camera set. Is that okay for you if I just do that for you? If you ever do it? So please, give it up for Mark Willage.
Thank you. Well, what are lyrics to a song but poetry? Maybe this will kind of ease into that category. Like the salty waves, you give me too much pain. Cool, moist palms to my cheeks. Haven't you changed your mind? Oh, candlelight, essence of starlight, reaching out to my soul. Warm feelings for you tonight. Please don't you say no. Don't you say no. Don't you say no. Your eyes coming on stronger now. Seems strange somehow. Just dance before you read me right. We got it made right now. Candlelight, essence of starlight, reaching out for my soul. Warm feelings for you tonight. Please don't you say, don't you say, don't you say no, don't you say. Thank you very much.
And because I didn't move the camera, I'm going to do the announcement from here, and I'm going to... because I'm going to do the camera work for it too. But in the meantime, please, Jason, are you ready, my darling?
I'm ready.
Follow on deck. I've got Patrick Hurley afterwards. So please have for Jason Noah. Woo! Sorry, I'm do your thing. Have a chair. You've got a list. You've got all your song work here, sir. You have to sign stuff here.
And don't worry about time, Janet. I can be done in 30 seconds or less.
You gotta wait till
Which is which is probably why I have so much trouble getting a date nowadays. Yeah, and so like, I've been thinking about putting out my own record album, and I've been thinking about this for about, 20 years or so. And then I'm thinking, what do you need if you're going to put out a record album? You need a record label, right? So, after Atlantic, Columbia, Arista, RCA filed all those restraining orders against me, I decided that I'm gonna... Oh, and I forgot about Righteous Babe Records, too. And then I decided I gotta, come up with my own record company, right? So...
The Arc label.
The whose?
The Arc label.
I kind of like that, actually. I'm not even gonna name off the ones that I came up with. So I came up with a couple record company names. I'm going to try them out on you guys and see how much you like them. First one is copyright. Hey, I work with what I got. Records. Unincorporated. And my second one is the Don't Listen Records. So I think, I'm on to a little something.
I like it.
So then there's the poems, because you got to keep making the poems. In fact, that's all my records are going to be, are the poems. Viewer shit. Robot guide to temporary X. Inbox ring, lubed for sex. I am this age, years ago. Why update the settings? Too much to know. Hey man, liked appendage shot. Pixels coagulate. Interstellar snot. Arrhythmic read, barely patterned, splintered seed, calculated stutter, from one emoticon to another. Oh, and that's another thing too. I can't remember what I did last time, so you're probably getting the same shit I read last time. So log how much eaten shit. Click a link on and on the blog. I have nothing to say to the press. When the lady takes a bath, when the man grabs the cash, when the cow eats the grass, so long as I get the stash, I'm gonna eat it. You too. Thanks, Gallery Cabaret. I love you.
Thank you, my darling.
My darling.
Now I have to look to see who the poets up for next so that they're warned. The next guy that's up is Patrick Hurley. Oh, Louis, you are next, my darling. I can't even see anybody, but you are next. Well, after Patrick Hurley, but of course. And he is getting stuff together for my chapbooks, which I'm thrilled. And this page was in the middle of one of them. And he gave me one with center titles and love justified titles. And I think that's something of yours about what a poem is or isn't. And I'm like, I'll just give that back to you. Anyway. He's like, well, I don't know what it is. But thank you very much for this. These things are very, very cool, and I'm hoping that they will be ready by the end of June, maybe toward my birthday, and everybody can join me for my birthday. But we'll figure that out later. In the meantime, please give it up for, oh my gosh, you're finally here. You haven't been here in so long.
So, in Janet's gun theme from the first one, freshly fired. He holds his cigarette, delicate as a rose petal between thumb and middle finger. Index gently touches the end. Ring finger feels the heat of the ember. It's the smoke that draws his attention. Ghost swirls from his lips, floating free to the universe. His hands limp, relaxed. His whole relaxed. The cost is known. Another day off the end. Another round in the chamber. Spinning the cylinder. Another day less. It's cathartic. Passes the time. And what is life without enjoyment? This slow decay, as the mind and body begins to fold, as the weight of experience begins to push down, he begins to melt into the floor, spread out within the universe, like Billy Pilgrim become unstuck from time. Moments certainly felt like it. Moments certainly felt like it. And there was a certain aroma, the scent of a freshly fired round in the chamber. So given the time constraint, I'll skip the long one and go for Long for the Day. She wept. She wept in the morning. She wept in the evening. She wept, tears silent, rolling down at unexpected moments. She wept on Tuesdays, just after dinner, at the sight of impending dishes to wash. She wept on Saturday, when the quarters found their way into the basement washer, as detergent made a little mess on the floor, but filled her nose with spring fresh flowers. She wept. She wept on Monday morning. She would rise out of bed, smile on her face, ready to turn it around. As the sheets came to her chin on Monday night, so too the reality that nothing turned far enough around. So she wept, then slept, longing for the day that would not arrive, when the sun rose bright and blinding, or dim behind a quilt of clouds. She wept. Thank you.
She walking up that way. Thank you very, very much. That is triple plus awesome. Now, I said Luis is next. I think he's going to play the piano. This is so cool, which means I'm going to have to move the camera and everything. But poet on deck after Luis is Jerry Pendergast, just so that you're aware. But in the meantime, please give it up for Luis. Come on.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You can probably walk it again.
I'm working on it.
It'll be a lost poetry, right? Or language, any language is sound or pattern vibration, such as music as well, right? So,
Do you need a mic?
no.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is an oral poem.
Jerry Pendergast. Bring it right to the stage for you. Give it up for Jerry!
New construction. I constructed it last night and today. It's in 3 parts, so this will count as 3 poems. Part 1. I envision a subdivision, a park and a wide road between the site and the old part of town. Turf fresh from trucks rolled over old dirt, clay. Sidewalks, canvas white. Driveways between lots. Lawns sharply edged. No grass overlapping lots. Trees all male, planted safely within lots to avoid branch overhang. Are herbicides in the turf, or is that optional for buyers? Part 2. Herbs, spices with meat, vegetables, grain, stirred in pots, pans, east of the park and the wide road. Aromas drifting over walked-on concrete, smooth and rough. Old grass and dirt, blown by westerly breezes through open car windows. Part 3. I envision children walking to school past a block of new storefronts. Today they will start learning multiplication and division. Now they are walking home, split into pairs, trios, quartets as they approach the park. Thank you. Do I have time for one real short one?
You do if you do me the favor of, since I'm doing a video recording, instead of taking the camera and moving away, get over here and come over to the middle so that we get all the
Okay.
shit behind it.
Okay. Oh, this Chicago. Well, it's okay. It's not as good as the blues. Plus,
That's true.
okay, you know, I keep telling Congress and they won't listen. So maybe they'll listen if I tell them in 575 equals 17 form. Trans-Pacific is good for no gender, only paper entities. Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. I'm going to announce who I believe is left for the list because some people aren't reading. So I've got next coming up here. You know, it's such a musical night. We've had the piano, we've had the guitar. I don't know, maybe he'll sing something. We've got Dan Cleary coming up next. I've got Bob Lawrence. Jeff's not going to be doing it. And then I've got the Bobsters. If there was anybody else that wanted to read because people have backed out, let me know because I can't see anything. But in the meantime, please, give it up for...
This year will be the 150th anniversary of the great Irish poet W.B. Yeats.
Oh.
And I can do a poem of his and a little song. Is that okay?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, okay. This is called The Song of the Wandering Angus. I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand, and hooked a berry to a thread. And while white moths were on the wing, and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream, and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands. I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips, and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. And this is also by William Butler Yeats. It's down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens on little snow white feet. She bid me take love easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I was young and foolish, with her would not agree. In a field by the river, my love and I did stand, and upon my leaning shoulder she placed her snow white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the wings. But I was young and foolish, and now I'm full of tears. Thank you.
The music takes it away today. This is awesome. This is incredibly awesome. And I have a little time, and I'm saying this for the next open micer, well, for all of you, because Bob Lawrence is the next open micer that's coming up. I've got like a bunch of features that are coming up like in the last week or whatever of June, and we're trying to get people together at a bar on a Monday, the June 22nd for my birthday. Lashett's. And it's a bar restaurant, but the restaurant's closed on Monday, but they've got very good gin and beer, and it's right on Irving Park, and lots of trains and buses and blah, blah, blah. And I just thought I'd love it if people would show up, and the only thing I would ask if I bring anything to read, that if anybody reads anything, that they read something of mine first. Think of it as a present, and I'll see what on earth you people do with my stuff. I think it'd be right. That's all I'm thinking. Like, that would be a present. Just pick something, come up with something and do something. I think it'd be hysterical. I think it would. But in the meantime, Bob Lawrence, I did call you my darling. Please give it up for my Bob. Bob Lawrence!
Oops. I have a little piece called The Beat. To turn red as a beet, muse on the beat. The beat, sound the beat, drummer. The drum beats, the heart beats, the drum throbs, the heart throbs, the beat throbs and bobs and weaves and sobs and waves and mobs all ways, thumping the beat of us all, thumping the beat of us all. Sound the beat, drummer. The jazz rhythm section, the symphony maestro unite in common enterprise. to maintain the beat that goes on and on and on, yet on and on. Sound the beat, drummer. Listen. The soul of rock and roll, the demon of the dance, the center of all motion, merciless, relentless, more or less homeless, lurking in hotel transient, but always there, always there. Sound the beat, drummer. The cop on the beat, pounding the pavement, feels the beat of the city, throbbing in concrete and steel, throbbing in flesh over flesh, in word with word, hot and cold, young and old. Clap to it, snap to it, tap to it, gyrate it, syncopate it, twist it, waltz it, the beat persists. You can beat the odds, you can beat the dealer, you can beat LA, you can beat the rap, you can beat cancer, you can beat the devil, you can beat the heat, you can beat the habit, you can beat the market, you can beat the experts, you can beat the press, you can beat the clock, you can beat the opposition, but you can't beat the beat. The beat goes on, the beat goes on. The arrow of time, the arrow of time.
Because I'm not around to be able to adjust the mic for somebody who's tall, that I just sit here and do this something on my drinking stuff. Before I call up my piece de resistance, my lovely handy-dandy sidekick Bob Rashkow, I have to do my little da-da-da-da-da-da, this little handy-dandy red velvety purplish Crown Royal bag is actually here because we've got two phenomenal features this evening from Roberta Miles and from GPA. Oh yeah! Yeah, he likes to talk about how great it is and how he actually survived the Chicago public school system. I think that's what his thing. Anyway, so I want you to put your life savings into this thing. For this is actually going to be, this big old bag is going to be split between the two of them. So that means you have to put double extra plus amount in or something, or we'll figure something out. And I've got them here and I'm like, I can't just hand you this stuff. What, resin present? What do? I'm going to pass this thing around so that everybody, well, you know, you're not supposed to give yourself money. What's up with that? What's up with that, right? So I'm going to troll myself around with this bag while we've got the coolest sidekick under the sun coming up. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Bobster himself. Give it up for Bob Rashkow!
Oh, Roberta's here.
Hi.
Hey.
1 out of 2 ain't bad. Paging Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon, Gotham City wants you. Never mind.
I think he said he had a thing that was going on, and so
Oh, he'd be late?
So
Oh, okay.
I don't know that happens
Well,
with him.
we'll keep the music going.
Yay!
This is
Acapella.
Keep the beat.
With apologies to Greg Lake and everybody who was in King Crimson. Da 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 fixed stare at video game, awesomely sick, his nickname. Twittering 15 minutes of fame, 21st century American man. Da 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 da. Handguns hidden in his pants, spends evenings in a beer trance, watching Kim and Kanye dance. 21st century American man won't vote, too much work. Tells himself that they're all jerks. His wife reads a novel, it drives him berserk. 21st century American man, always trying to impress his buds. Soaking up pizza, soaking down suds. Football and hockey make them feel like bruds. 21st century American man, every Sunday puts on a tie. Goes to look God in the eye. Makes him feel better that he stopped by. 21st century American man. And I'll do one more verse even though there's a few more. Sooner or later the day must be. Runs out of cash eventually. But he knows there's always GoFundMe. 21st century American man. Da 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 da. Ba ba bum ba ba bum ba da 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 da. Pow! Thank you.
Back me up on air guitar, Bob.
No, it's
How's that? Thank you very much. We actually have, because there's some people that weren't reading, I am going to read one thing, because we actually have time. Well, yeah, I've got time for one thing, so I could do that. The first book I ever wrote, or ever had published, is a huge print run, Hook Chest in the Attic, and there's like next to no copies of this thing left. And so I was working on having it go for a second printing, where it would have an actual full color cover and not just 2 inks or whatever. But in the meantime, because I was reflecting on doing this, which has an art section in the middle of it, I thought I would do one poem from it. And we'll see how it goes. And that is called, wait, should I play my music? What do you think? Should I have the music up for it? Nah. Okay, good. Yeah, because I don't know if it would be fitting, because I'm not, it wouldn't be. This is called a flashback. That's what I said. Everyone at work wondered why she looked so down that day. And occasionally someone would ask her, what's the matter? And she'd just say she was having a bad day. And she went through the motions. She did her work. She ate her lunch, even though the lettuce tasted bad. And she then had to run an errand for the boss. And she was in her car. It was snowing, but it's not the pretty kind of snow, not the kind of snow you expect to see on Christmas Day. It was like the snow was already dirty and gray before it hit the ground. And she was driving, and she didn't even realize she was going under the speed limit. She was there in a daze, lost, not because of depression, but because there was nothing she cared to think about. And so she drove. And she dropped off the crate of flyers and the mailing list for the boss, and she drove back, and the whole way back she was thinking she should drive slower so she wouldn't have to go to work so fast. And so she drove slowly, coasting now, watching the dirty snow touch her windshield. And she looked over to her left, and there was an old man. He was lowering his car from the jack it was on, a flat tire. And then she had a flashback. And it was no longer winter, and she was no longer driving. She was outside while he was trying to fix the flat on his rusty white car. They were driving back from a park. It was summer in Monticello. It must have been 90 degrees. And there she was, sitting on a dirty beige carpet scrap from the floor of his car. She had taken the scrap and moved it off to the dirt road about 10 feet into the field. And she just sat there, watching him, shirtless, fixing the car so that they could drive home. And she wanted to remember it just like that. Then the light turned green. She followed the procession of cars through the graying snowflakes. And she began to forget that it was a bad day. And she didn't mind her days. The flashback. One of the pieces in here. And I've got a handful. See, there's a section in the middle. But I believe I might have seen GPA walk in. Triple plus awesome, because we'll have 2 phenomenal features, and we're going to just pack them one right after another after we take a break, so that everybody can stock up on liquor and keep Tressa extra busy, and we can all see how the game is going. We were in the lead. People don't care about hockey here, do they?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. We don't care. I don't know. I mean, I see it going on. It is a huge thing. So anyway, 5 minutes, and we're going to start out with 2 great open mics. And thank you, features. Thank